We are talking about AI, we are talking about intelligence, we are talking about a lot of heavy buzzwords that are creating a lot of inquisitiveness in the market.
Everything is going to happen like this only. They didn't wanted the deep-rooted completion of the tasks. They wanted what? Humans basically are very intelligent. They are very smart. They want to reduce their cognitive load. And the best form of reducing the cognitive load is to
Hey y'all, we are starting a podcast series. It's called Seen the Unseen, where we bring some amazing mind to understand how things had worked and is going to work. Today, I'll introduce someone, a lead scientist, a person who has crafted thousands of career experience of 32 years of long, the legendary Dr. Lovi Raj Gupta, Pro Vice Chancellor, Lovely Professional University, on AI fluency. I welcome Dr. Lovi Raj Gupta, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to the show.
Thank you.
It has been a long time, sir. We are seeing you, admiring your work. Now is the time we can discuss more and let the audience understand that how to think, how to be more curious, and to understand disciplinary concept to think. And my first context, sir, to you to understand, we are talking about AI, we are talking about intelligence, we are talking about a lot of heavy buzzwords that are creating a lot of inquisitiveness in the market for students, for industry, and for research and development. Sir, according to you, we are growing day by day. Now, what was the intelligence? What was the basic root of this terminology when the terminology was not there back at prehistoric era? What was intelligence? What was the primary root of that intelligence word, according to you?
See, intelligence came a little later. It was all about communication. It was all about expression. You're talking about the prehistoric era. People, human beings, wanted to express themselves or communicate themselves. So, the very first thing which they started was using expressions and gestures, combining gestures and expression. You can visualize the sadness, happiness in an individual by virtue of the expression only. And it is your muscles of the face which expresses. So it was more illustrative. Go back to the caves, you'll see illustrations out there. And in the very initial stages, in the prehistoric stage, you call intelligence, you call whatsoever it was primarily that how you communicate your thoughts to an individual or to a group of individuals. It can be illustration, it can be gestures also. So the very first time somebody did like this and explained it that I am calling you was the first form of expression, and that became the first form of communication. Then came the era of language. So people started creating languages because there was vocal cord available and we had the hearing capabilities and capacities available with us. So they crafted and curated languages. But then came a barrier that languages became regional, languages became too specific, too geographical and region oriented places. So people thought that how do I communicate? Again, it is related to somewhat somewhere intelligence only. I'll cite an example over here. You go to Germany, you go to China. I've been traveling, but basically, if I have to search for a drinking water, and if the billboard over there is written in German or Chinese, I'll not be able to figure out. No? And if there is a tap, picture of a tap with a tumbler beneath it, anybody in this world can understand that there's a drinking water out there. So it all started with illustrations, gestures, language. But when language became too specific to a region, people again went back to illustrations, which are generalizable. And this is where the entire computation shifted from CLI, that is command line interface, to graphical user interface. This is the basic premise behind it.
Correct. Moving forward, I'll surely take this analogy and I'll continue talking to you in later of the pods. We all have heard about a name, Alan Turing. It's likely in 1830s to let's say early 90s when he started asking himself and he came out to the solution that computers can also solve, calculate, and break the problems into chunk, and that's how he invented a Turing machine. What is your analogy to it? And we talk so heavy about AI. What was the understanding back then, and how we can leverage that concept to us nowadays so that we can understand this technology even better?
See, humans basically are very intelligent, they're very smart. They want to reduce their cognitive load, and the best form of reducing the cognitive load is to curate and craft a machine, a device, which can do certain tasks which are pre-fed and predefined to that particular machine. I consider it to be an induced intelligence.
Correct.
It's a state which is defined. I'll I'll have an interaction with you so that you can very well understand what exactly this induced intelligence means. Because then only you'll be
Correct.
able to understand the shift from illustrations to gestures to languages and then to illustrations from CLI to GUIs. So tell me, what is 2 plus 2?
4, sir.
5 plus 9?
14, sir.
10 plus 2?
12, sir.
9.63 plus 7.75?
Correct. It will take me time, sir.
Now, this state is not defined in your mind.
Correct.
All other states of 2 plus 2 was very well defined and pre-stated in your mind.
Correct.
Think of a machine with state having 2 plus 2. You didn't took a 2 with a operator plus and 2 to your mind to give me the answer.
Awesome.
But if you might have been in the age of your 5 years or 6 years, you might have gone back to your basic cognitive load reducing mechanism, that is your fingers actually. You might have counted two, another two, and then you might have given me the answer. So this is how you transfer your cognitive load to a device and create instances out of the devices, making it induced intelligence. The simplest examples of induced intelligences are your washing machines. You've got presets na, for nylon cloths or for warm cloths or for hot cloths. It has got a complete state predefined. You've got your microwave oven. For baking a cake, you have to just simply press a code. Rest all is preset and predefined.
Correct.
Now, this is where the calculators and the machines with pre-fed, preset devices or preset states came into picture, reducing the cognitive load. If I might have asked you this 9.63 plus 7.25 10 times, then the similar state might have been created in your mind, and you, after that, would answer it like 2 plus 2 only. That's how the cognitive load got transferred to machines. Turing also did the same thing, and lot many other machines, they came up in with the same ideology, with the same philosophy.
Correct. Awesome, sir. And I truly believe that was an exceptional way of thinking, and I never thought it before. But maybe this podcast will take students to think, and that's what our mission is all about: seeing the unseen. Uh, Amazing, sir. Moving forward, I wanted to ask you one thing. I was fortunate enough to attend one of your sessions where you mentioned analogy where you asked, I think, somebody, a student, that tell me what was the basic intelligence, and then you explained that it was the Microsoft Word where we wrote something and there was a red line underneath, and that's how it was flagging that something is uh, incorrect or wrong. So can you please elaborate that analogy, sir, with us, because I want the audience to get that knowledge from you.
See, I was talking about transferring the cognitive load to a pre-state fed machine. Then people started thinking that it can be multiple states bundled to create a decision. It all started with decision support systems. Now, when we used to use a word processor, it was word perfect. You might have never even heard of. It was a CLI kind of an interface. But then came Microsoft Word. And the most prominent thing which Microsoft Word brought along was that if I'm typing and there is a spelling mistake, it is actually flagging it with red curly line out there.
Correct.
Now, this is a prefed state because it is actually going and looking to the entire dictionary which is fed there. And if the word is not matching, it is flagging it to be with curly red line. It all started from there. If if you talk to me personally, the thought of not just simply transferring the cognitive load to machines, but making them smart enough to provide a decision support system so that I go back to that word, respell it, and then make it correct. It moved on then further in the present state where autocorrect facility is also there. So there is no red triller which is coming beneath the letter. It is by default correcting it to the most commonly or most similar kind of a word.
Correct. Amazing, sir. Now then, we are in an era where we talked about the automation era. Now it's a generative and perhaps agentic era, like after 2010 or leading to 2020, 25, and 30. I have a very simple question, which will be the last for this unseen part one for AI fluency. Is we used to understand there was a telegram and then the telephone come up. Telegram used to receive and used to send, let's say, a message, and then telephone came and we can call, record, and do multiple activities with our intellect. Similarly, generative AI is generating the content at the same context, and agentic AI is doing something amazing next step ahead. Let's say I am scrolling in Google, I'm hitting it some keywords, it's showing me some data. Whereas agentic AI is moving one step ahead, booking a flight, giving it me in return, ki, hey, this is done as an assistant or let's say co-pilot. How this shift or how this analogy can justify?
You're missing a major breakthrough in between the telegram and the telephone. That was pager. So from telegram, it came to pager, wherein the number was flashed that somebody is trying to contact you. So technology is growing simpler but smarter.
Correct. So
It
correct.
basically moved on from statistics. I'll tell you a better example on this. Language became the mode of communication. But when the entire science or the entire humanity grew, the evolution happened, maths also became the language.
Correct.
So statistics became the very basics of, as I talked about, decision support system. People started talking about expert decision systems, wherein the system was taking its own decision. This is a shift from telegram to pager to mobile telephony. In between, there was wired telephony as well.
Correct.
So
True.
here in this foray of technology, what happened that from statistics, just calculating the mean, mode, and median, it grew when the data became wider and larger. The perspective towards data got changed. When the inference is to be taken out of the data, the decision support system got converted to expert decision systems, and then finally they got transponded to AI models.
Correct.
Now, these AI models are of advanced types wherein they're not just simply taking decisions, they are also recommending further decisions.
Correct.
So, we moved on from basic statistics to linear algebra, matrix, and then we moved on to what? Weightages. When people started talking about something called as deep learning and ANN came into picture, weightages were there. So each node would had the weightage, and it was trying to predict the next word which would suit to this particular sentence. This was discriminative AI,
Correct.
wherein you were able to discriminate the, maybe you can classify, you can create a regressor out of it. This was the discriminative model, wherein the system was aligning to your thoughts, and it was basically you were giving the data and you were giving the rules. It was not the conventional form that you were giving the data and you were giving the formulas and it was giving you the output. Rather, it was different. You were giving the rules and the data, it was giving you the answers. Then came the era of attentions. So weightages got converted to attention. When it was weightages, we were reading word by word. I'm just talking in context of natural language processing,
Correct.
because
Correct.
natural language processing got converted to natural language generation.
Correct.
That was the era of generative AI.
Correct.
So weightages got turned into attentions. Now people started talking about not the weightages, just the weightages, but the attention and the attention maps. So discriminative AI got converted to what? Generative AI.
Generative AI.
Humans, as usual, were curious enough. They didn't want it to stop there. They wanted not just the decision, they were not wanting the expert decision, they didn't want it the recommendation, they didn't want it the deep-rooted completion of the tasks. They wanted what? Now it is from cognitive load to the entire physical or physiological load to be given to the system. That is where the agents came into picture. Agentic AI is has begun right now.
Correct.
It has got vast potential. It is not just simply booking tickets. It can play a major role in setting up the tone even for what you speak. Right now, there is an agent in my mind, multiple agents in my mind which are working. Try to understand the sentence which I am speaking is an outcome of multiple agents. One agent is looking to my English, second agent is looking to the context of what you have asked me for. The third agent is browsing my entire history of understanding and knowledge. The fourth agent is making me speak. So all these agents are working together, orchestrating each and every phrase or word which is coming out of my mind.
Amazing.
Everything, everything is going to happen like this only.
Correct.
If I may cite an example, if there is a glass of water placed over here, and if I ask you to pick the glass of water and bring that glass of water, you will never ever make your hands like this. You will pick it at the shortest distance and drink
Correct.
it for the shortest distance, because there are agents in your mind
Correct.
which are letting you understand where that glass is and how to drink that water.
Correct. It was not just a discussion, sir. I can visualize everything within myself, and I believe the audience can actually not only hear it, they can visualize through their wisdom. And I'll request, sir, we will talk more about this on the part two, where we ask you to take us to the journey more about AI and how we can think even more logical way and a data driven way. By this, I'd like to thank you so much, sir, for coming and giving your time.
Thank you.
And I wish people to stay tuned and be with us on Seen the Unseen. Thank you so much, guys.